Oh, hello. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live. Coming to you with crazy hair this morning. Now, I thought that it would be kind of fun to talk today about a couple of things that have come up this week with some different conversations that I've been having. Let me know that you can hear me when you're coming on. You've got me fresh-faced and suitably fabulous. Well, fresh-faced is definitely that. All right, so today what I wanted to chat with you about are two big things that have come up. And one big thing, hello Jeanette, how are you? Long time no see, welcome to Friday. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is a question that, I don't know, like I've had come up quite a lot over the years, and that the first thing is around, does what I'm wearing actually really matter? And yes, it does. It absolutely does is the short answer, but I'm going to give you a longer answer as well today because, you know, I am the queen of all of the words. So we'll make sure that you get the long answer and the long explanation. And I can tell you that it is not all just about vanity, right? It's not just all about vanity, but I'll talk to you about that. And then the other thing that I wanted to chat with you about is, you know, people will often think in different industries, they are like, this won't work for me in terms of social media, marketing, positioning, that type of stuff. And I can tell you that it absolutely will. It doesn't matter what industry you are in, social media will absolutely work. Hey, Kath, happy Friday. Great to see you. So I guess like one of the things that one of the big industries that I tend to work with and I'm really kind of vocal in supporting is typically women entrepreneurs who you might be coaches, psychologists, authors, people who are in the business, you know, creative kind of people who really want to be helping more people with their knowledge, their wisdom, those types of things, right? So that's the main group of people that I work with. However, I've had, and it's not something that I promote and advertise, but I get referred to people or, you know, people find out about me through word of mouth. And I've had people like electrical businesses, hardwood floor businesses, for instance, like manufacturing companies, those types of people. Hi, Marilyn, how are you? Happy Friday. Love your hair, by the way. It looked gorgeous when I saw it the other day. Very, very good job. I love it. And like some of those companies, some of those businesses are like, yeah, I don't really think that this is going to work for me, or they're a bit more dubious because, as you know, I'm very vocal about you creating your own thought leadership, you working on your positioning, you working on what is different, special, and unique about you, and using that to market yourself out into the world. And some of these people think, oh, you know, how does this even apply to me? Now, this also ties into the subject of niching, right? Now, so many people have so many qualms, problems, limiting beliefs, if you want. They can't always see how the niche is going to work, choosing a niche, how that is going to work for them. Now, there are approximately 2.5 billion people who use Facebook right now. Half of those are active daily on mobile. Now, you can't, it's a platform we can't ignore, like we're on it right now. I know that you might be listening via audio on iTunes or SoundCloud or LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you happen to be listening to this. But Facebook is something that you can't ignore. And with that volume of people in there, it's crazy to not try and leverage that massive group of targetable people who are sitting there killing time, basically, or looking for inspiration, looking for motivation. And you've got this really, you know, an audience who is just sitting there primed and ready for you to step in there and help them. Now, when we think about niching, my niche, for example, as I've just talked about, are when I'm thinking about content creation, I'm sitting here thinking about, all right, well, you guys, you know, what's going on in your world? What are your challenges? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What is it that you really, really want to create? What is it that you really want to do? And when I think about that, and because I talk to people like yourself, like all the time, it's like, I know that you really want freedom. I know you want flexibility. I know you want lifestyle. But most of all, I know that what you want to do ultimately is help more people and live a fucking exceptional life, right? That's what my people really, really want. Yes, you're challenged by perhaps self-doubt, limiting beliefs. You're not quite sure whether, how you're going to stand out. You're not quite sure maybe how to position yourself, all of that type of thing. So every blog I write, every live stream I do, every blog that I film, everything that I do, every article that I write, it's all about you. Now, where this becomes important to understand is that just because I'm talking directly to that kind of person, I'm talking directly to you, doesn't mean that I don't work with people in different industries. Right? The best example that is so completely opposite to the kind of work that I generally talk about is the hardwood flooring company that I worked with. And so, what we did is we needed to create a social media strategy. We needed to create a lead generation strategy. We needed to create an engagement strategy for people who are on their emailing list. They didn't have an emailing list. They're only doing, 10 or 15 million turnover a year. Didn't have an email list or like work. So the stuff that I help people with, generally speaking, in my niching, does still apply into other industries. So for you might be targeting a particular kind of person, but that doesn't mean that you can't help should you choose. And if it's the right fit, doesn't mean that you don't also go and work with other people that don't fit your niching parameters. Niching is about helping you make your marketing easier, right? It's about you, helping you to come up with content, about you being able to create a mental image about the people that you really want to help, the people that you want to bring in. And there's always going to be people out on the fringes or who don't completely have maybe exactly the same, 9 dots or characterization as your ideal niche has, but it doesn't mean that you can't help them if it's aligned and if it's the right fit. So just bear that in mind. Now, no matter what it is that you're doing, regardless of the industry that you are in, you've got to consider how you are going to have a multi-prong approach to the people that you want to target and the people that you want to bring in. So for me, what I mean by that is that your audience has a really big problem that you can help them with. It could be that their skincare regime is shit. It could be that they lack self-confidence. Maybe they're stuck, they're lost. They don't know what to do in terms of what their life purpose is. I'm speaking with some people at the moment who are telling me, they're like, Nicola, I don't want to do what I'm doing anymore, but I don't know what I want to do. And they're feeling really lost. They're kind of like swinging from going like, all right, well, I could do this, to like, oh, this is actually maybe a little bit depressing. They know very clearly what they don't want, right? Maybe that's your people that you want to help. Now, we've got a purpose conversation in there. We've got you still need to make money somehow, maybe, or maybe you're not ready to retire yet, but you still want to feel valuable and valued and that you can contribute to the world in a meaningful way. So you've got to find a way to help them to be able to do that with different options, right? That could be your niche. Now, if that's their main thing, we also know that they probably need some self-care. They probably need some motivation. They probably need some inspiration. They probably need a little bit of entertainment. They probably need someone to say, you know what, it's actually okay that this is what you're going through. I've got your back. We'll find a way. Let's just go try some shit, and there'll be some things that work and there'll be some things that don't. But, reinvention is such a cool thing to be experiencing. Now, when it comes to multi-prong, you need to share with them some inspiring things, share with them some motivational stuff, some inspirational stuff, some lifestyle things, some different ideas. Make it simple for them to get to know you, right? So social media when it comes to marketing is all about you positioning yourself in the eyes of your audience as an expert. It's all about in them, right? Not having me see you as an expert because, you know, I don't know what you know. So I already think that you're great at what it is that you do, but assuming you can do what it is that you do. Like that's the caveat on that. But if you're saying to me, you know, this is who I really want to help. I'm like, okay, awesome. So how do we get you seen as an expert in the eyes of your audience? And that's where you've got to deliver a multi-prong approach. You've got to have many things that you're going to be talking about, not only one singular thing. If you're only ever talking about one singular thing, then people have got no reason to keep coming back and listening to you. They've got no reason to keep coming back and talking to you. They've got no reason to keep looking at your news feed. They've got no reason to keep looking at your photo grid on Instagram, right? Give them a reason, a compelling reason to keep coming back. But the only way that you can do that is to know who they are and know what's going on in their world, right? Kind of makes sense. Now, that's one thing. That's one part of it. And then the other question that I was talking about at the start of today is like about what you wear. Now, it's really funny. I had a call this morning with a gentleman who was, you know, wanting to bounce some ideas off me with some things that they're doing, which was really fun. And one of the things that I said is like, we can't just show up on social media like it's traditional media. You know, if you're going on and doing a radio advert, for example, a radio advertisement is like, you've got maybe like 10 or 15 seconds perhaps. And one of the things that you would do in that traditional radio ad is like, you're very specific, you've got a tiny amount of time, and it's like, buy my shit. Come to the showroom, come and do this. You know, we've got this event coming on. Make sure you buy a ticket. You've got like no time. So you've got to be so specific. It's direct call to action type marketing. Now, where the difference with social media is that we want to be able to create a really big holistic view of who you are so that people can get to know you, like you, trust you. So if they see you somewhere, might be on television or down the street or in the supermarket or wherever, that they can come over to your social media platform and get an idea of who you are, what you're about, and why the heck they should even listen to you. Now, ways of doing this is delivering hints, tips, advice, like I was saying to you before. But what was really funny was like we were talking about a little bit of the multi-prong approach with what I do. So I'll provide you with value. You know, you don't have to spend money with me if you don't want to, but if you implement the stuff I teach you, you will make money. I know you will. Like people do. If you go and do the work, you'll make money. It's just a lay down misère. So go and do that. So I give a lot of education advice. I give a lot of strategic tips. And then he's also like, oh, it's some entertainment as well. And I'm like, yeah, of course. You know, this social media is all about you sharing your personality, right? I said to you guys yesterday, I'm a bit of a dag. For those of you who are in other countries, a dag is someone who like makes fun of themselves a little bit, doesn't take life too seriously. I do the daggy mum dancing, and that's to give you an idea around the meaning of the word. That's what it is. It's kind of like I can't even think of an alternate word. I'm sure somebody from another country will come in and let me know. Because I know I've talked about this a lot, but anywho, that's that whole scenario. So you want to be a little bit entertaining. You've got to deliver advice. You've got to deliver tips. You've got to deliver hints. And one of the things that tends to come up is people will say, yeah, but I don't want to be giving everything away for free. Well, you know, does it really matter? You know, you could give away the whole box and dice, right? I don't know where that saying comes from, but you could give away everything that you know. And the thing that will absolutely happen is that there will be people, and I have this all the time, and this is exactly what happens with my people. So I know this is true, and this happens for many clients of mine as well. Not only business coaches, right? I don't only work with business coaches. What happens is that people are like, oh my God, like what you said made so much sense and that's awesome. But how does that apply to me? How does that apply to my specific situation? I've got these different ideas. I've got these different wants, I've got these different needs, I've got these different problems to the normal people or the general people that you talk to. How does this apply to me? And then once you give them that, it's like when you're talking to them, most people want accountability. Most people need that ongoing support, because a bit like what I wrote yesterday, it's like we go through times where we're up and we're amazing, but then there's always times where we're, not always, there's often times where you have these dips in motivation, or dips in mental health, or dips in feeling inspired, or concerns, fears, worries about whether this is what you're supposed to be doing or not, and how are you supposed to be able to move through the quagmire of, self-doubt. And so you've got your people around you to help support you. Other people out there in the normal world, they need that too, right? We are really lucky, I think, in the work that you and I do, where we understand the value of support, of mentoring, of coaching, of having a team of people around us, right? I know you guys do. Yet many other people out there in the world that is not in this industry, they think it's just them. They think that they're the only ones that are going through this, and they don't have, more often than not, they don't have someone like you in their world or in their business helping them to see that actually, this is really normal, and it's just that this shit doesn't get talked about out in the world, right? So when you're out there and you're talking to these people, it's important for them to see that you're real, that you're human, that you are amazing, right? And this ties into, does what I wear, does how I show up actually really matter? And yeah, it does. Because we have got, the research says that we've got 7 seconds to make a first impression. Now, 7 seconds lasts for freaking ever, right? If we look away for a second, and then we're like, hi, in someone's newsfeed, and we're like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. You're already 3, 4, 5, 25 scrolls on in your phone, right? 7 seconds is freaking forever. So we've got, in my opinion, we've got like one scroll, which is actually less than a second. We've got one scroll to make a first impression. Now, if you're showing up on video or in photos and you're looking like an unmade bed, like there was a bank co-worker that I used to work with that always looked like they were dressed like an unmade bed. It was ridiculous. Think about, we want to use every single tool, every single strategy, every single thing that we have available to us to create a powerful first impression. Now, take what I'm wearing today, for example. I've got a gym top on. My hair is what my hair is looking like. And if people happen to come through my feed, what I hope that they would see from a first impression perspective is that, oh, she's an active wear. Oh, like her hair's not perfect, but she's real, right? There are other days where I can be dressed to the nines, full face of makeup. My hair can be absolutely perfect. And, she's made a bit of an effort today, right? So where I'm going with that is that different people are going to be attracted to you for different reasons. I'm not talking about, dating type attraction. I'm talking about more the magnetism, yeah? So you don't always have to be all dressed up and fancy, but I think it is important for you to consider what you're wearing. If you saw someone in the street and you just were able to catch a glance at them, what would you think about what you're wearing? What would you think about how you are showing up if it was somebody else? We've got not much time on social media and in your marketing to cut through. So you want to use everything available to you to create a really fast impression. So for me, when I think about the different things that I wear, the different ways that I show up, I'm real, I'm multifaceted, I work out every day, I love to look nice, I don't always wear makeup, and I'm really all about showing you that you can make millions of dollars without being all made up and glamorous every day, without having a massive production team, without having, you know, beautiful photography and all this sort of stuff happening. I love all of that stuff as well, and I have that in certain instances and depending on what I'm doing. But if I can do it like this, then you can do it however it is that you are. I'm also I work really hard on making, oh no, not really hard. One of my big goals is to always be as approachable as possible. Now, I was talking to a gorgeous human a couple of weeks ago, and she said, we got on the phone, she signed up for, actually for Visible, the immersive experience that I've popped in the comments there, and we're having a conversation about it. And she said, oh my God, I'm so excited and I'm really scared. And I said, oh, really? She goes, yeah, like I'm really scared to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God, really? Like it's just me. I thought that was, I thought it was wildly hilarious. I also get it, but I thought it was wildly hilarious because I think I'm the least scary person on the face of the planet. But I know that that's not always what people see, right? It's not always the first impression that people get. I'm very certain, I know my stuff, I take no shit, and I'm very down the line as well. So everything that I put out there, I want to communicate how I am, who I am, what my values are, and also what my personality is. So I want you to do the same. So consider what you're wearing. Consider how you look that particular day when you're taking your selfies, or when you're putting your photos out there, or when you're doing a live stream or filming a blog. Think about how you're using social media in a multi-prong way, which is you sharing different elements of your life, sharing different things that help your people, making sure that you're educating, engaging, inspiring, motivating, entertaining, of course. You know, all of those types of things, sharing with people the different elements of you, and also to show them that you understand what's going on in their world and what's going on in their lives. It's the best thing that you could possibly do. And the great thing about this is that when people see you, they'll react, right? And what I mean by react is they'll watch, they'll listen, they'll read your stuff, they click, they then go and look at more of your stuff, and that becomes very proactive rather than being reactive, waiting for people to come to you. Because if all you're doing is sitting there waiting for people to come to you and expecting that they're just going to find you around the place, then that's probably not going to happen, because